So your local government, they do the police and they do the firefighting. Okay, then there's the state government. The state government decides, for example, how money goes to your local public school, for example, or how taxes get paid and how roads get made and all of that. Then there's the federal government. The federal government, the Constitution says what the federal government can do. Make sure that there's an army and a navy and an air force and that they are able to protect us against people who want to attack the United States. That's the biggest thing the federal government does. Yeah.
Do you think Biden actually follows his own law?
I think that Biden kind of makes up the rules as he goes. I don't think, unfortunately, he cares very much about the rules for being president. I think he just tries to do whatever he can do. And then he hopes that nobody stops him, which is not a very good way of being president. And that's why the founders were really smart. The founders created a system where there are people who can stop you if you break the rules, which is really important.
Do you think
There's just something really funny about this video. I don't know how to express it, but it's beautiful. I love Ben Shapiro. I love Ben Shapiro.
Is that the school kids
I love
one?
Ben Shapiro too.
All right, yeah, it is a school kids one. Hold up. Here we go, boys. All right. Ben Shapiro teaches kids politics. Ben Shapiro is legitimately debating children.
Hey. Okay.
I remember watching a clip from this video.
We've evolved.
And
We've gone past college kids and we've moved on to literal child.
Those college kids, huh? Yeah, well,
We,
can they be a-
we're really moving up the ranks.
it's like a couple of college kids questioned and were able to debate him. So he decided, you know what? I think I just need to move on to children. Okay, that was Ben Shapiro's argument. Okay,
All
need
right.
to debate children. Okay.
I think I'm gonna mute up and I'm gonna go over this video on my own, just in case it's a good segment. All right. Okay. All right. Give me a second. I think. Yeah. All right. Oh boy, I'm gonna go through this on my own. All right, boys. Chat, are we ready? Are you guys are your buttholes nice and puckered? Are you prepared for the absolute insanity that's going to be this video?
Today at a public library. And I know what you're thinking. Ben, haven't you read all the books there already? Of course I have. But that's not why we're here. My producers have given me a stack of cards. They have a bunch of terms on them having to do with the government. I have to explain these to very, very small children in a fashion that kids can understand. So we'll find out how this is going to go. This video is sponsored by our friends over at Conservakids.
The Hitler Youth got a rebrand. The Hitler Youth got a rebrand, boys. Imagine the optics if they just called themselves the Conservakids. It's really funny, too, because they did the exact same people who will accuse the left of, indoctrinating children. And they have an entire thing called Conservakids. You can't make this shit up. I see new, beautiful, amazing bits of hypocrisy from the right every single day, and I think that's probably my favorite one. That's so good. Oh man, if they were sponsored by the New Age Hitler Youth, I can only imagine this video is going to be fantastic. Okay, I cannot wait to see where we go with this one.
Hey guys, how's it going? Wow, you're very well-behaved children. All right, so I'm supposed to teach you about things today, so get ready.
Yay?
Yay?
I've seen my mom look at him on Facebook. She said he was a very smart guy.
Do you think he is?
Well, now that I've met him, maybe.
Freedom. Okay, freedom.
Wow, just dissing Ben. Now that I used to think he was a pretty smart guy for my mom, but now that I've met him, I don't know about that one anymore, man.
Definition?
Oh yeah, give me a definition, go for it.
America.
Definition of freedom is America. Okay, that's actually, okay, I kinda like that. I'm with you. America. Okay, so.
America.
Freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the ability to make good choices and have those pay off. A lot of people kind of think that freedom is you get to do what you want. So if you want to run into a tree, that's freedom.
Well, okay, that's not how I define freedom, but I suppose that's a decent definition. I think the problem with that definition, though, is couldn't you literally say that you have a lot of freedom under, a totalitarian regime? Because you have the freedom to make good choices. They will almost dictate that you make good choices. Couldn't that also be a form of freedom? I just reject that definition as a whole. I think freedom is the ability to do things. That's, a very base level of, freedom. The freedom is the ability to act, right? But then, obviously, we have positive and negative freedom, and we try and maximize that for, a libertarian framework, right? For example, we don't have the freedom to go out and murder people because we value the freedom to not be murdered more so. Does that make sense? like, I think I explained that in an adequate way. I just take like a little bit of an issue with Ben's definition, but I do think he's explaining it to kids. So, you know, I suppose you have to simplify it a little bit, but again, I think I have problems with that definition. At least we're not getting onto like too hardcore propaganda, because I mean, he could just be saying that like freedom is when conservatism and free market. That might actually be, I'm proud of Ben for not going that route.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't eat people like that. You don't have freedom to eat people. Cannibalism is bad.
I forgot what that's called.
It's called cannibalism.
My mom and dad told me I was gonna meet Ben Shapiro.
And did you know who he was?
Nope.
Government. Okay, so who has an idea about government? Go for it.
I don't.
Government is what takes all of your money and gives you very little in return.
That is not true.
Okay, that's kind. I mean, it's kind of true. It depends on. The
Here comes the ANCAP takes. Here comes the ANCAP takes. All right, freedom is when I'm allowed to own children. Freedom is when the government doesn't take money from me. No, actually, I think people like Ben have like seriously flawed views of how actual taxation works and the things that you get as benefits for taxes, right? I don't think Ben actually understands that. And then furthermore, people like Ben Shapiro are like against, for example, implementing stronger social safety nets, which would allow you to get more out of your taxes. I don't know why people like actively advocate to have very little as far as it comes to like social security and like things like welfare and things like that, and they complain that they don't get enough out of their money that they give to the government. It's really funny to me. I know that like, oh man, we're literally teaching children how to be ANCAPs. Do you think he's gonna have like, oh god, this, okay, you know, maybe McDonald's should be able to own kids. Maybe Ben's onto something.
government. Yeah, that is what taxes are for, but taxes are theft, children. The reality is that government is necessary so that people don't hurt each other, so that people don't murder each other. Right, so people don't eat people.
He said taxation is theft. Okay. Yep. All right. We're off to a good start, you know. No, actually, if taxation is theft, why is it are things like labor theft, right? If theft is just like the coercion of you for like something, right? The freedom to like not be able to do something. Because I know there are places that you can kind of like avoid being taxed by the government, for example, but it's not really realistic. So like, for example, is like labor theft, because any argument you can make for taxation being theft, you could also make for labor being theft. The problem is that once we dictate that that is theft, not every single theft is immoral. And then we go down that road. It's actually really easy to justify taxes from like a consequentialist perspective. It's really, really weird that people like Ben kind of make those comments. I don't think they've actually thought it through very far.
That's right. You do need a government to prevent people from eating people. The Constitution. Who knows something about the Constitution? Anybody heard of the Constitution? Anybody heard of the Constitution?
Never heard of it.
Okay, so the Constitution. Okay, the Constitution is the document that lays out the list of rules for what the government can do and what the government cannot do. So the Declaration of Independence is 1776. So right as we're founding the country, right as the founding fathers are founding the country in the Revolutionary War, we fought a war against Great Britain in 1776.
Okay, maybe you do know a lot.
What was that?
Okay, maybe you do know a lot. And talk fast.
Yeah, I do
Yes,
talk
very
fast.
fast.
But you guys can keep up. You're young.
I do run pretty fast.
I'm sure you do.
I can run very fast.
I run super
Let me tell you, I don't worry about talking too fast with kids because my kids wipe me out. My kids tire me out. Okay, the president.
Property
Okay.
stuff.
Who knows who the president is right now?
Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
That's right.
Unfortunately, Joe Biden.
I'm with you.
Unfortunately, Joe
Yeah,
Biden.
unfortunately, Joe Biden. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Trump,
Yeah.
he is the best. He was better. Don't insult
Yeah.
the president because he will come and attack you.
Whoa.
Anyhow. Yeah,
These children are growing up to be terrorists. These children are going to do some very, very unscrupulous things with violence. They're gonna overthrow the government, and I can see an insurrectionist like coming out of these children's eyes, man.
he's way off base though.
Taxes.
Oh dear.
Okay, do you guys like taxes?
Taxes are fees that you have to pay for your houses.
Well, yeah, there is.
And air conditioning and solar.
Right, you have to pay taxes on like everything.
Yeah,
Like,
watches,
everything. Except-
electricity.
Not on your income in Florida, because Florida's amazing.
Electricity.
Right, so taxes are the government takes a part of the money that you spend, or the money that you earn, or the property
Then they
value of your
spend
house.
it on useless stuff. What about debt?
Mostly, yes. I mean, they're supposed to spend it on things like the police. They're not supposed to spend it on just random projects or silly things that they have in their head, and they tend to spend it on kind of silly things very often. But as you get older, you will realize how little you like taxes. Taxes are very, very annoying.
Terrible. I remember this.
Alrighty, let's see what else.
Yeah.
Quantitative easing.
What?
Wow, who put this one in here?
What is that?
All right, are we really gonna do this?
Who's
We can do this. Okay,
No.
so yeah, I know. I'm with you.
Everybody's laughing.
The reason that they're laughing is because this is super duper complicated. You know what a dollar is, right? Y'all use dollars before.
yeah.
How about Monopoly money? Have you guys ever played Monopoly? Right?
My
Okay.
mom and dad did it.
If you guys went to the store with Monopoly money, could you buy anything?
No.
No, you couldn't. Why not?
Because it's fake.
Because it's not real money. There is an agency of the federal government. It's called the Federal Reserve. Okay, the Federal Reserve controls how many dollars are out there. If they just print a bunch of dollars and then they just give you those dollars, it turns out they didn't make you rich. All that happened is that your dollar now doesn't buy as many things. If the Federal Reserve just makes $1,000 and gives it to you and gives it to everybody, you can't buy an ice cream bar with $1 anymore. Now the ice cream bar is going to cost like $1,000. Okay, that's what quantitative easing is.
Can you explain to me the concept of quantitative easing? Go.
Man. Oh, man. These kids should not have as strong of an opinion on Joe Biden. These kids are actually growing up to be extremists, okay? I swear, these children are going to fall into, like, an extremist ideology where they want revolution. I can see it coming, all right? Like, this kid's gonna be in full... I can't say that. I was just gonna say they were gonna be, going to be part of a very bad group that was prominent in the 1940s. I don't think I should say that out loud, though.
So one of the questions that I frequently get asked is, how do I talk to my own children about conservative values and the things that matter? And my answer is Conservakids. Conservakids brings you books like Home of the Brave, for example, in which they discuss things like American values and American history. They're beautifully illustrated, they're really well written, and they have values that you can feel comfortable sharing with your children, which is the most important thing. There's so many forces out there that are seeking to twist what kids think. There's so many people out there who want your kids to believe things that they really shouldn't believe, who want to take control of your child's education away from you. Not so with Conservakids. Conservakids is the way.
You literally want to do that. It's called Conservakids. You literally want to take control of the kid's mind and tell them what to... Ben, no. Ben, you're better than this. Ben, no. There are so many organizations out there trying to influence your child when it comes to politics, but not Conservakids. Conservakids is a completely non-biased source for your child's entertainment. That's why it's called Conservakids. There's no reason Ben should be talking this damn fast to these kids. Oh, man. He's literally... The left is mind-controlling kids. We're going to make a propaganda organization for children's books. Because controlling kids' minds and injecting politics in their education is so bad, we are going to make a conservative propaganda machine for children. We are going to make PragerU kids. That's a thing, by the way. And we're going to make conservatives books that tells them how evil the left is. You can't make this shit up. It's...
way to teach your kids about the stuff that matters. They bring you all sorts of beautiful books. They have a great variety, a great selection. Check them out today at theconservakids.com/Shapiro. That's theconservakids.com/Shapiro. You get 15% off when you use code 15Ben. Again, they just make great materials. They're safe for all your kids. Not just safe, they're virtuous for you to get for your kids. Theconservakids.com/Shapiro. That's theconservakids.com/Shapiro. 15% off with code 15Ben. Okay, go for it.
What do you think about like superstars and athletes talking about politics?
So everybody in the country gets to talk about whatever they want to talk about, but athletes and superstars generally don't know anything about what they're talking about when it comes to politics. When LeBron James says things, that doesn't mean he knows things. Yeah.
Will you ever be a president?
You know, all the presidents are now 100 years old, right? Like Joe Biden is really, really old. Joe Biden is 79 years old. I'm 38, which to you guys seems like super old, right? No? Okay, good. That's true.
Ben is old though. Actually,
oh wait, so my kids are grown up. I would never run for office while I have little kids. I want to be home with my kids. My kids are super cute. I want to spend like a lot of time with them.
When's Ben gonna admit that he's gonna run for president?
If he wanted to be president, he would probably be it tomorrow, but he just talks about it.
Raise your hand if you want Trump to be president. Not me too as well. I want you to be president.
We have a bunch of MAGA kids. There's a bunch of children who have very strong political beliefs here. And something about that's really funny. Man, they literally just took Twitter and made an entire classroom, dude. Legitimately. It's just a bunch of small children with really strong political beliefs. This is why we should arm the left, Bunk, because conservative children are coming for you.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Why are the people angry at the government?
Why are people angry at the government? Because sometimes the government tells us to do stuff the government shouldn't tell us to do.
Do you think homeschooling will ever be banned?
Not in Florida. So I think that there will be places that try to stop homeschooling. I come from a state called California, where monsters roam the streets and garbage is strewn everywhere. It's a horror-scape. No, I'm joking. They don't actually have real monsters, but it's a really poorly, the way that they run the state is really bad. So they have lots of crime, they have high taxes.
Like you think there is a monster.
Right, exactly. I came here because Florida is amazing, guys. You're so lucky to be growing up in Florida. Florida's amazing.
America is the best, but Florida...
I came here because Florida is amazing. Not because I have to pay no income tax and I am exceedingly rich off of my political show. I like this place because it's nice, it's got nice weather, and I am not trying to avoid paying any taxes. This is a message from Ben Shapiro. I believe him. I believe him, guys. This is like when Hassan tells us that the reason he streams so much is not because of money. It's actually because he just loves streaming that much. He just loves his chat that much, okay? That's why I feel whenever Ben Shapiro talks about how amazing Florida is.
Florida's really hot. What does the government do?
What does the government do? Okay, so there's various kinds of government. There's your local government, like where you live, and then there's the state government, like the state of Florida, and then there's the federal government. They all do different things. So your local government, they do the police and they do the firefighting. Okay, then there's the state government. The state government decides, for example, how money goes to your local public school, for example, or how taxes get paid, and how roads get made and all of that. Then there's the federal government. The federal government, the Constitution says what the federal government can do. Make sure that there's an army and a navy and an air force, and that they are able to protect us against people who don't want to attack the United States. That's the biggest thing the federal government does. Yeah.
Do you think Biden actually follows his own law?
I think that Biden kind of makes up the rules as he goes. I don't think, unfortunately, he cares very much about the rules for being president. I think he just tries to do whatever he can do. And then he hopes that nobody stops him, which is not a very good way of being president. And that's why the founders were really smart. The founders created a system where there are people who can stop you if you break the rules, which is really important.
Do you think
There's just something really funny about this video. I don't know how to express it, but it's beautiful. It's really good. You know, I'd like to point out that conservatives were the ones who were like so heavily against things like drag queens going to schools to talk about LGBTQ issues. And I can kind of understand that to an extent. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But then they'll turn around and they'll like fully endorse people like Ben Shapiro, literally just giving talking points to children who have no idea how to push back on any of them. And no one else is there to actually like talk against Ben. Like, they do realize like how incredibly, exceedingly hypocritical it is whenever the right talks about, and they're so adamant about, not even just the right, Daily Wire talks about this, that like we have lefties and they're going into like schools and it's being ingrained in your education to be like gay or trans or something like that. And then they literally go out, they make organizations solely to indoctrinate people. They do things like this, which are exclusively to indoctrinate children. And then they accuse the left of doing the same thing and how bad that is, how bad it is to get children involved in politics. When they're literally doing that within this video. This video itself is probably the largest bit of hypocrisy you will ever see out of the right, and I think that's hilarious. Like, it's so baffling to me that like these people make this content and don't see the irony in it. And I don't even know if it's just like being malicious. Maybe they're just really stupid and don't understand like anything they say past like 2 seconds after they say it. But like, it's man, I don't.
thinks China purposefully caused the pandemic?
I think that China purposefully covered up a pandemic. It probably started in a laboratory in China, and then it got released, and then they pretended that it was not their fault, and they didn't know what was going on, and they lied a lot, and then it got out and killed a lot of people.
No, he's pushing the pandemic conspiracy theories. Yeah, kids. Actually, China they made the virus in the lab, and you should believe this. By the way, I really hate it when people indoctrinate kids. Here's a conspiracy theory, children, that you can understand. Like, I don't. It's the Hitler Youth all over again. Yeah, man. I think Adolf would be proud. I think Adolf would be proud of Ben. I think he really is following in the footsteps of some great people here.
Do you think the Supreme Court will overturn Roe versus Wade?
Wow. I think the Supreme Court will not overturn Roe versus Wade, unfortunately. I have a feeling that the Supreme Court is going to change the rules of Roe versus Wade, but that doesn't mean they're going to throw it out completely.
Why does this child know what Roe versus Wade is? Why on earth does this child know what Roe versus Wade is? Who taught this child these things? Are they given prompts of like things to ask like before the segment, or like is it like all set up like that, or are these children legitimately just getting like a ton of political talk from their parents? Like there is no place where a child of that age should be asking these like complex political questions. It's like a child coming up to Ben Shapiro and asking, do you think that imperialism can sometimes be justified if interventionism can actually positive benefits for the general population of a given country? Or do you think that we should go by our overwhelming rule that interventionism is not good because we're trying to value the actual lives and welfare of our own citizens? Like, do we value the welfare of our citizens over those in other countries, or is there no justification for that? And then, like, there's no reason a child should be asking these things. Like, I can't... Get them while they're young.
They're going to do what they always do, and they're going to be confusing about it.
Who is your favorite Democrat?
Wow, that is a difficult question.
I know, right?
Alive? A Democrat who's alive?
We find
Right now, Joe Manchin. Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia is my current favorite Democrat. He's preventing Joe Biden from doing a lot of bad things.
Do you think we can have a stable government again?
I mean, I think that the government is still pretty stable, is the truth. We should be grateful to live in a country where the government is this stable. The truth is that if you look at history and if you look at all other countries, there are a lot of countries that really don't have a stable government, and it's really difficult. We're so lucky to live in this country, we really are. So as much as we have problems here in the United States, this is still a fabulous, fabulous country, and we should all really be grateful to live here. And that I guess is the thing that I would say to all you guys. You guys you're gonna live like for a super long time, and you're gonna get to see all sorts of amazing things happen in the country. And the most important thing to remember is the harder you work, the better your life is going to be. The better the decisions you make, the more responsible you are, the more you help other people, the better your life is gonna be. And this
Yeah, your life's gonna be really good whenever the people who are paying off Ben Shapiro, you know, the oil barons that are paying off people like Ben Shapiro, whenever they destroy the environment so much so that you're gonna be living in a wasteland. You're gonna really like... It's so good. It's so funny.
This country, which is the best country in the world, if you make great decisions, you're gonna have an unbelievably awesome life. You're gonna make a huge difference in the world, and you can make the world a better place.
Thank you, Mr. Shapiro. What's that thing on your head?
Oh, good question. Okay, so this is a yarmulke. Jews and Christians believe in the same God. We just have slightly different beliefs about the kind of stuff that we have to do that God says that we have to do. So what this means is that Orthodox Jews who keep a lot of commandments, we keep this on our head, right? In the Bible, when it talks about the Israelites, that's the Jews. So the Jews eventually, now we're their descendants. So we keep the...
Is that it? Is that the video? Or is our suffering done? Is it over? Are we done? Oh god. That was something. I just find it really funny. I genuinely find it really funny when these conservative talking heads talk so much about how they hate that, like, the LGBT is, like, corrupting our children, and then they'll literally go out. They will go out actively and do this type of shit. And then they'll upload it to YouTube. It's so funny. Like, do you think they think for a second how, like, hypocritical all this is? Like... I don't... Okay. I guess... Oh, man. Things like this make me legitimately think that, like... Oh, God. Like, some people on the right just stand for absolutely nothing. Like, I personally have no, like, central, like, feeling about, like, children kind of understanding very basic concepts. But, like, when we're getting into things like Roe versus Wade, things like inflation, no child even has the ability to comprehend these things, let alone form a, like, good opinion on them. And because these things are being platformed in such a way that there's, like, no opposition to them, there's obviously going to be negative side effects to that. I do believe in responsible platforming to an extent, and this is just a huge failure of it. Like, I mean, maybe I get if, like, that's not somebody else's value, but the Daily Wire talks constantly about how the left is indoctrinating children. They constantly talk about it. And they do this. And they do this. And man. All right. I guess that's it. Oh dear.
Fuck Bunk. Tired of that dumbass loser. Crying in his bedroom while I'm cruising in my cruiser. This dumbass bitch, thinking that he's cool while streaming on Twitch. Call this Vietnam, we're gonna get you on a weight loss program. Everyone knows, you will never be a pro. Well, I'm part of my rap game. Always tripping out, never no problems with burnout. The vids keep coming, so does the drama. Clear in your notepad, your tweets aging with a granddad. Capital of chat, doing flips. Everyone in the chat, Bunk is a bitch. Yeah, Bunk is a bitch. No one likes Bunk.